The darkness of space stretched endlessly, broken only by the faint blinking of emergency lights inside a battered spacecraft. Princess Sora pressed her hand against her daughter Yuna's shoulder, feeling the trembling of the child's small body. Their ship, once a symbol of diplomatic pride, now looked like a wounded animal limping through the cosmic void. Yuna's eyes were wide with fear, but she tried to look brave. Her mother had always told her that true warriors never show complete weakness. The young girl's silver metallic skin reflected the dim emergency lights, making her look almost ethereal against the ship's dark interior. "Mom," Yuna whispered, "are the humans really going to help us?" Sora's hand tightened on the communication panel. Their entire civilization was gone, wiped out in less than 3 standard galactic weeks by the Vorax Collective. Entire planets, reduced to cosmic dust, billions of lives erased in moments of brutal conquest. The Vorax knew no mercy, understood no compromise. The ship's communication system sparked and crackled. Years of advanced technology were now reduced to basic survival mechanisms. Sora entered a complex encryption sequence, hoping Earth's defense systems would detect their transmission. Outside, the vast emptiness of space seemed to mock their desperate situation. Millions of kilometers behind them, the remnants of their home system burned silently. No rescue, no hope. Just them, and this tiny ship. Yuna pulled out a small data crystal, the only remaining record of their civilization's history and technological achievements. Her small fingers traced the intricate patterns, memories of her homeworld flooding her young mind. Massive crystal cities, floating gardens, advanced quantum networks, all gone in an instant. The Vorax attack had been sudden and overwhelming. No one had expected such ruthless efficiency. Their advanced defense systems, considered the most sophisticated in the known galaxy, had fallen within hours. Sora had managed to escape with Yuna in the last diplomatic vessel, watching helplessly as everything they knew disappeared behind them. "We're approaching Earth's orbital zone," the ship's automated system announced in a monotone voice. The computer's battery was dying, its voice becoming weaker with each passing minute. Sora checked the navigation systems. Their fuel was critically low. One wrong move and they would become another piece of space debris. She looked at Yuna, who was now holding the data crystal close to her chest like a precious treasure. "If the humans reject us," Yuna asked quietly, "what will we do?" Sora didn't have an answer. Their options were limited. Earth was potentially their last hope. The Vorax had already conquered 3 major galactic sectors, and humanity remained the only civilization that hadn't been thoroughly mapped or attacked. The communication panel suddenly flickered. A response was coming through. Sora's heart raced. Human language algorithms began translating the incoming message. Yuna moved closer to her mother, her small hand gripping the data crystal so tightly her knuckles turned white. The ship's internal temperature was dropping. Life support systems were failing. "Incoming transmission," the computer announced, its voice crackling. Sora took a deep breath. Everything depended on the next few moments. Their survival, the potential survival of countless other civilizations, the hope of resistance against the Vorax Collective. The message began to form on the screen. Fragmented, incomplete. But it was a response. Humanity's first contact with the survivors of the Krellnak Empire was about to begin, and in the vast, cold emptiness of space, a single damaged spacecraft carried the last hopes of a die. The United Defense Council chamber buzzed with tension. Monitors displayed the alien spacecraft's fragmented transmission, its data streams dancing across multiple screens. Commander J. Park stood at the center, his weathered hands clasped behind his back, studying every pixel of information. Around him, military experts and scientific advisors whispered and argued. Some wanted to shoot down the alien ship. Others saw a potential opportunity for first contact. Yuna's data crystal, now projected as a holographic image, contained information that could change everything. "The child's data is remarkable, Doctor," Elena Rodriguez muttered, zooming into quantum network schematics. "These communication patterns, they're unlike anything we've ever seen." Yuna sat quietly in a sealed observation room, her silver metallic skin reflecting the clinical white lights. She watched the humans through a transparent barrier, her eyes tracking their movements. Despite her fear, curiosity burned brightly within her. Sora stood nearby, monitored by security personnel. Her diplomatic training kept her calm, but inside, she was a storm of emotions. Humanity was their last hope, and everything depended on this moment. Commander Park approached the sealed observation room. He studied Yuna carefully, noting her intelligent eyes and the way she held herself. Not like a scared child, but like someone who had already seen too much. Translate everything the child says, he instructed the linguistic team. Every single word. Yuna noticed him watching and tilted her head. She understood more human language than they realized. Her civilization had been studying Earth for decades, preparing diplomatic protocols that would never be used. The data crystal continued projecting its secrets: star maps, Vorax attack patterns, weapon system vulnerabilities. Each revelation made the human experts more attentive. These invasion strategies, whispered Colonel Miller. They're systematic, brutal, but not unbeatable. Sora stepped forward. The Vorax consume civilizations. They don't just conquer. They erase entire cultures, converting resources and populations into their collective network. Her words hung in the air, heavy with implications. Humanity wasn't just facing a potential alien invasion. They were facing a potential extinction event. Commander Park's team began running simulations. Yuna's data crystal provided unprecedented insights into Vorax technology, weak points, communication frequencies, potential defensive strategies. We can fight them, Yuna suddenly spoke in perfect, slightly accented English. Everyone in the room froze. The young girl walked closer to the transparent barrier. But only if you're willing to work together. Only if you understand that this isn't just our war. It's everyone's war. Her words carried a maturity that belied her young age. Commander Park felt a chill run down his spine. This wasn't just a diplomatic meeting. This was a warning. The Vorax were coming. Military strategists began preparing preliminary defense protocols. Scientists started analyzing alien technology. Governments worldwide were being quietly briefed about the potential threat. Sora watched, her daughter with a mixture of pride and concern. Yuna had just done what generations of Krelnak diplomats could never achieve. She had captured human attention completely. We don't have much time, Sora said softly. The Vorax move quickly. Commander Park nodded. Then we'll move even faster. Outside the council chambers, the first stages of humanity's most important preparation were beginning. Wars had been started, with less information. Civilizations had fallen with less warning. But this time, humanity had something different. They had hope, they had strategy, and they had Yuna's incredible data crystal. The initial contact was complete. The real challenge was just beginning. The massive underground research facility hummed with intense activity. Technicians in white suits moved between advanced holographic displays, their fingers dancing across quantum interfaces. Commander J. Park watched as teams worked on transforming Yuna's alien data into practical weapon systems. Sora stood beside him, explaining complex Krelnak defense protocols. Her silver metallic skin seemed to shimmer under the artificial lights, a constant reminder of their alien origins. The Vorax adapt quickly, she warned. Whatever weapon you develop, they'll find a counter within weeks. Yuna sat in a special training zone, demonstrating alien combat techniques to specialized human military units. Despite being just 10 years old, she moved with a precision that stunned veteran soldiers. Her small hands demonstrated quantum disruption, techniques that could disable entire alien communication networks. Dr. Elena Rodriguez worked tirelessly on nano-armor prototypes. The technology was revolutionary, adaptive material that could change molecular structure in milliseconds, providing unprecedented defense against alien weaponry. We're not just building weapons, Commander Park explained to his team. We're creating a completely new approach to warfare. Massive fabrication centers worked around the clock. Traditional military hardware was being redesigned, tanks transformed, spacecraft reimagined. Every piece of technology now incorporated insights from Yuna's data crystal military training programs changed overnight. Soldiers learned alien psychology. They studied Vorax communication patterns. They trained in tactics that moved beyond human conventional thinking. Yuna watched the preparations with a serious expression. She understood the stakes better than most adults. Her entire civilization had been erased. Humanity was now their last hope. The Vorax don't think like organic beings, she told a group of Special Forces trainees. They're a collective consciousness. They don't feel fear. They don't understand individual sacrifice. Her words carried a weight that silenced the entire training room. These weren't just tactical instructions. These were survival lessons from a child who had witnessed total destruction. Commander Park developed a unique strategy. Instead of pure military might, they would use psychological warfare. Disrupt, confuse, break the Vorax collective thinking. Massive quantum communication jammers were constructed. Adaptive AI systems designed to predict and counter alien invasion. Strategies. Every resource was being pushed to its absolute limit. Sora provided critical intelligence. She mapped Vorax attack patterns, revealing weaknesses in their seemingly perfect invasion techniques. Her diplomatic training now transformed into military strategy. They believe in total efficiency, she explained, but efficiency can become a vulnerability. Worldwide governments redirected resources, military budgets exploded, research facilities worked non-stop. The entire human civilization was preparing for a war unlike any in history. Yuna continued training special units. Her small hands demonstrated techniques that seemed impossible. Quantum disruption, communication network manipulation, psychological warfare strategies that went beyond traditional military thinking. The research facility became a beacon of hope, not just for humans, but for every civilization threatened by the Vorax collective. Commander Park looked at Sora and Yuna. They were no longer just refugees. They were humanity's most important allies. "We'll be ready," he said quietly. Yuna looked up, her eyes reflecting a wisdom far beyond her years. "We have to be." The preparation for counterattack had begun. Humanity was transforming from a planetary species to a galactic defense force. And at the center of this transformation were an alien princess, her extraordinary daughter, and a commander willing to fight beyond traditional boundaries. The Vorax were coming, but this time, they would find humanity waiting. Space erupted in a fury of light and quantum energy. The first human-alien joint fleet moved with precision, a massive formation that combined human aggression with Krelnak's strategic brilliance. Commander J. Park stood on the bridge of the flagship, his hands steady on the tactical controls. Beside him, Sora analyzed incoming Vorax communication signals, her fingers moving across quantum interfaces with lightning speed. Yuna sat in a specialized command station, her young mind processing multiple data streams simultaneously. She had become more than just a survivor. She was now a critical strategic asset. The Vorax didn't expect this level of coordination. Their collective consciousness had always assumed human technology was primitive, their species disorganized. They were about to learn a brutal lesson. "Target their primary communication nodes," Yuna spoke quietly. Her voice carried an authority that seemed impossible for a 10-year-old child. The first wave of attacks was surgical. Quantum disruptors targeted specific Vorax network frequencies. Adaptive nanoweapons transformed mid-flight, breaking through alien defensive shields like they were paper. Sora watched the battle unfold, her heart racing. This was more than a military operation. This was revenge. This was survival. "They're breaking formation," Commander Park announced. His voice was calm, but excitement bubbled underneath. Massive alien ships began to scatter. The Vorax collective had never experienced such coordinated resistance. Their perfect mathematical strategies began to collapse under human unpredictability. Yuna's breakthrough in decoding alien quantum signals proved to be the ultimate weapon. She could predict Vorax movement patterns seconds before they happened. Each prediction was transmitted to the fleet, giving them a critical advantage. Targeting, Secondary communication hubs, a human tactical officer reported. The space around them became a canvas of destruction. Vorax ships exploded in silent bursts of energy. Their perfect geometric formations dissolved into chaos. Commander Park realized they were doing something unprecedented. They weren't just defending, they were attacking. Pushing back against a force that had seemed unstoppable. Sora's tactical knowledge combined with human technological innovation created a perfect storm. Every Vorax strategy was countered. Every collective response was anticipated. They can't understand our randomness, Sora explained. Their collective mind requires predictability. We're giving them pure chaos. Yuna continued processing data, her small fingers dancing across multiple holographic interfaces. She was the bridge between human creativity and alien technological understanding. The battle raged for 72 hours, no sleep, no rest. Pure, continuous combat. Human ships moved with an almost organic flexibility. Vorax vessels, used to mathematical precision, found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. "We're breaking their primary defensive line," a tactical officer shouted. Commander Park allowed himself a small smile. Humanity was no longer just fighting. They were winning. Yuna's eyes reflected the massive holographic displays. Vorax ships continued to fall. Their perfect collective was being systematically destroyed. "They'll attempt a final concentrated attack," she warned. Her prediction came moments before massive Vorax vessels converged. But humanity was ready. Quantum shields activated, adaptive weapons transformed. The counterattack was instantaneous and devastating. The Vorax didn't understand defeat. They didn't comprehend individual sacrifice. But they were about to learn. Space became a battlefield of pure energy. Human and Krellnak technologies combined into a weapon more powerful than either civilization could have imagined. Commander Park looked at Sora and Yuna. They weren't just allies anymore. They were family. "We're winning," he said quietly. Yuna nodded. Her eyes filled with the memories of her destroyed civilization, now held something new. Hope. The Great Offensive was more than a battle. It was a statement. Humanity would not be conquered. They would not be erased. They would fight. The aftermath of the great battle left space scarred and silent. Burning Vorax ship fragments drifted, like broken dreams, testament to humanity's unexpected victory. Commander J. Park stood on the flagship's observation deck, watching the cosmic debris. Beside him, Sora and Yuna analyzed the final battle reports. Their combined effort had changed everything. Yuna's quantum signal decryption had been the ultimate weapon. Her young mind had unraveled complex Vorax communication networks faster than any supercomputer. She wasn't just a survivor anymore. She was a galactic hero. "We've liberated 12 alien civilizations," Dr. Elena Rodriguez reported, her voice filled with exhausted excitement. Holographic screens showed rescued planets, slowly recovering from Vorax occupation. The Vorax Collective had been more than just a military force. They were a civilization that consumed and converted entire species into their networked consciousness. Now that network was shattered. Sora looked at her daughter. Yuna had grown during the conflict. Her silver metallic skin seemed to reflect a newfound strength. The scared child from their desperate escape was gone. A warrior had taken her place. "The remaining Vorax ships are retreating," a tactical officer announced. "They're broadcasting surrender signals." But this wasn't a traditional surrender. The Vorax didn't understand individual defeat. Their collective consciousness was fragmenting, losing its cohesive structure. Diplomatic ships from hundreds of rescued civilizations began arriving. Beings of different shapes, sizes, and technological levels gathered to witness humanity's unexpected heroism. Commander Park addressed the gathered representatives. "We didn't just fight for ourselves," he explained. "We fought for everyone's right to exist." Yuna stepped forward. Her small frame seemed to command more attention than entire military delegations. She shared the story of her civilization's destruction, transforming abstract statistics into a deeply personal narrative. The rescued civilizations listened. Some wept. Others stood in silent respect. Sora watched her daughter with pride. Yuna had become more than a survivor. She was now a bridge between different species, a symbol of hope and resilience. Massive reconstruction efforts began. Liberated, planets started rebuilding. Advanced technologies were shared. The galactic community, once on the brink of total extinction, now buzzed with renewed energy. "We need a new galactic council," Dr. Rodriguez suggested. "A system where no single civilization can threaten others." Commander Park agreed. The old political structures had failed. Something new was needed. Yuna's data crystal, which had started their entire journey, became a central artifact. It contained not just technological information, but the collective memories of civilizations that would have been forgotten. Diplomatic meetings continued. Species that had been enemies for centuries now worked together. The Vorax threat had forced unexpected alliances. "Humanity was never supposed to be the hero," an alien diplomat remarked. "But here we are." The reconstruction would take decades. Entire star systems needed healing. But for the first time in generations, there was hope. Commander Park looked at Sora and Yuna. They had arrived as refugees. They were leaving as saviors. "What happens now?" Yuna asked, looking out at the vast space. Sora smiled. "We rebuild. We learn. We protect." The flagship systems hummed with possibility. Quantum interfaces displayed recovery maps. Rescue operations continued. Liberated planets slowly returned to life. Humanity had transformed from a single planetary species to the defenders of galactic freedom. And at the center of this transformation was a commander, an alien princess, and her extraordinary daughter. The Great Liberation was more than a military victory. It was a statement about survival, hope, and the unexpected power of unity. Space seemed to breathe differently, waiting, watching, ready for whatever would come next.